Last time on the Minish Cap, we obtained the Cane of Pocky, meaning there are now going to be 50% fewer accidental innuendos involving sucking and blowing. But more importantly, we also obtained the Element of Fire, one of the elements we need to reform the Broken Picori Blade, or probably should be called the Minish Blade really. But anyway, speaking of that sword, it should be done by this point. Or at least I hope it is, because otherwise we're going to be waiting here for a while. But this Minish has confidence that it's done, so let's go see Malari. See how he's doing. And hey, what do you know, he's done. And man, look at that blade. Looking pretty good. And at last, we get the broken blade. Well, I guess it's reformed now. So now we can put our old sword away, which is good because it's tiny and kind of weak, so it's gonna be useless from now on. And man, I have to admit this is a pretty cool looking sword. I do like the green hilt, it looks rather nice. So of course, the main goal of this episode is going to be reforming the sword itself because, while it has been repaired, it still needs the elements in order to empower it. We have two of the elements, and we can actually give it a little bit of power. It won't be enough to complete it, but again, we're halfway there, so it's pretty good on its own. Now, other than reforming the sword, after the second dungeon there is a little more leeway in what you can do in the world. So, I've mentioned a few times that a lot of stuff opens up after the second dungeon, and, well, the second dungeon's finished, so we're going to be doing quite a bit of going around and doing stuff. Including starting more Kinstone Fusions. I mean, you gotta start them at some point. You probably don't want to let them pile up. Then again, it might be good to tackle them all at once. Although that would take forever and would be rather boring, so that's not what I would take. Or, that's not the strategy I would use, rather. But, on the other hand, it does make Kinstones easier to keep track of, and honestly, if one thing's going to kill your enthusiasm for the Kinstone quest, it's going to be losing track of stuff. Trust me, I've tried plenty of times before to do the Kinstone quest and I haven't finished it, just because I've forgotten who I've fused with and I don't know who to fuse with afterwards, so it all just becomes one big mess. But this time around, of course, I will be getting 100%, so don't worry, you'll see them all at some point. Oh boy, I can't wait to get around to that. But anyway, getting off Mount Prenel is pretty easy now, since we can just jump off of everything and we have the climb bracelet or whatever it's called. I've forgotten the name of it already. It's honestly not really that useful outside of Mount Prenel, so we're not really going to be paying it that much attention anyway. But there is actually a pretty quick route back to Hyrule Castle itself. Now that we have the Cane of Pocky, we can just jump right up here and hit the lever which will extend the bridge. There is stuff beyond here, but we can't actually get up there just yet. But at least we can easily get back to the castle. That's pretty important. Nothing down here, of course. So, let's see, there's not actually much we can do around here at the moment. We're just gonna go straight to the castle, or technically speaking, we're going to the Element Sanctuary beneath the castle. Either way, though, we are going to be reforming the sword. Now, there is some stuff to explore around here later on, but the guards are actually, well, guarding something. We can't go into the gardens proper with them in the way. There's not much in the castle either. The king and the minister actually have Kinstone Fusions, but I'm not going to worry about those at the moment. They're not too big anyway. Well, to be fair, we haven't really tested that theory, but we'll just assume that's the case, because somebody probably would have noticed it by that point. Oh hey, glowing door. I don't think that was there before. When did we get that installed? Uh-oh, looks like we're locked in this room. How convenient. And there's a little indent for the elements themselves, so you know exactly where to put them. Well, you don't really need to place them, actually. You can just put the sword here, and the elements will float out on their own, because they're magic like that. And unfortunately, we didn't get the green hilt for long. And in fact, we don't get the purple hilt at all. You can see the color flash up, but honestly, that sword wouldn't really be useful on its own, and we can't fuse the element with it anyway, so I hope you don't like purple too much, because we don't get to see that hilt. Nor do we get to spend much time with the green one. The red one, though, is probably one of my least favorites, actually. It doesn't look bad, but I don't know, I'm not huge on the color. I don't actually know what happens if you try to go to the north room without placing the blade in there. I'm guessing you can't actually enter the room up there, but doesn't matter too much. Alright, so we can indeed split ourselves into two. That will be useful for some puzzles. You might also notice that there are 4 glowing panels, but we only need to press these 2. Your little double right here will actually follow your leads. You go left, he goes left in the same distance. It's not like a puzzle where you can push him against a wall and you'll move closer to him. If you try to push him into anything, really, he'll just disappear, so don't make any contact with enemies, don't go into walls. You can actually use your sword, though, and your little double will use the sword as well, which is very important. He does still move the same as you. I don't think your double can use items, though, just the sword. But that does include the spin attack, which might be important. But anyway, with that done, why don't we go around and look for some items, because, hey, we have a couple of dungeon items in a cutscene? Alright, Vaati can just teleport. So why haven't we met each other more? You'd think you'd want to meet up with us, considering we're killing monsters. I don't know who that's supposed to be insulting, but I dress pretty well, thank you very much, even if Ezlo is on my head. That's a pretty great line out of context. Or in context, really. This is a fantastic hat, thank you very much. It's magic and it is the ultimate power. I am the best hat wizard alive. You can't stop me. This small gesture of me leaving. The best gift of all. Oh wait, no, it's actually a fight with enemies. Oh hey, you gave me bacon. That's so kind of you. Anyway, these are moblins. They're easy enough. They can block your attacks with their spears, but honestly, it doesn't help them. Just get to their sides or back, and you can take them out easy enough. Their charge is pretty slow, so they're nothing to worry about. But now that we're done with that, we get some exposition. Thank you, Ezlo. We actually haven't had any of that for quite a while, so yeah, let's listen to Ezlo's story. He thought it was way radical and totally bodacious. Ezlo, I really can't see how you didn't see this going wrong. Oh, look at Minish Vaati. He's so cute! He's adorable. Why couldn't he have stayed like that? Is he holding his arms out? Because that's also cute. Oh, wait, no. Now he's Edgelord. To be fair, Vaati does kind of look cool. Though design-wise, it's kind of confusing from the back what is his cape and what's his hair. I mean, it all looks the same when you see him from behind. Just looks like cape hair or a hair cape or something, I don't know. So wait, Ezlo was just asking what Vaati could possibly be up to, you know, in present day. But here he clearly states that he's looking for the Light Horse, so hey, maybe that's what he's planning. Then again, he is getting turned into a hat, so maybe his memory is not that good. I'm going to wear you as well. In fact, I'm going to wear every hat on the planet, and no one can stop me. Peace, suckers! Oh, how nice we took Ezlo off her head. It does kind of get weird if he keeps on talking while he's on her head. I mean, I didn't want to say anything when he was arguing with Vadi. It would be, it would take a little time to take him off my head, but it's just a little bit awkward, I have to say. Well, it's less your pride and more so a lack of foresight, to be completely fair. But it's not a fairy tale, it's a thing that actually happened, oh whatever. So anyway, yes, we could get a move on, but why would we get a move on when there's a whole lot of items to be found, starting right here? I mean, we can't actually get over here because the carpenters are blocking the way, so we can't do this directly after the Minish Woods, even though we did get bombs. And oh look, there's a block that can only be pushed by 3 people. I wonder if that's going to be important. Anyway, free piece of heart. Yep, I'll take that. Also, this area is kind of weird. Oh wait, no, it's not that area. It's rather this area, because you can leave via ladder or you can leave via door. I don't know why they have 2 entrances. It's not really a big deal. Whatever. Anyway, let's see, what else do we have to do in the world here? Well, let's go back to Hyrule Town and see if anything's changed. After all, at some point we will have to talk to Swiftblade, and to be honest, these rupees are kind of weighing down my pocket, so why don't we see if there's something we can buy? Like this boomerang, in fact. Well, this will take all of our rupees, but you know what? It's worth it. Especially since we can get a few rupees from the Cuckoo minigame. Yeah, thanks, I am a huge spender. I just gave you a whole lot of money. Thanks a lot. It's my pleasure to do that. Anyway, Cuckoo minigame. I'll probably start cutting these out at some point? I don't know if I really discussed this beforehand, but this is actually the first time we've seen the Gold Cuckoo, which is really annoying. I don't think it's worth any more than the average Cuckoo, but they will actually just, like, run away when you're holding them. Like, just in the middle of walking towards the stall, they'll just break free from your hands and try to run away, which is why I was trying to throw that one, because if you throw him and are able to pick him back up again, then he won't run away and you can get him back to the stall fairly easily. But the thing is, if Cuckoos escape you, they freak out and are either impossible or very hard to catch because they run around so quickly and frantically, so you don't really want to do that too often, but sometimes it does help you speed up. The Cuckoo minigame definitely gets a bit annoying, but again, that's one of the easier ones. We'll get to the more annoying ones later, I promise. So, we're just gonna be doing a few Kinstones here and there. This is Brocco. He sells vegetables, which never really does anything for you. Can't buy vegetables, but you can fuse Kinstone, and I believe this should be yep, it's a golden rope. So golden enemies are very rare. They only appear when you fuse Kinstones. They are worth a lot of money, but they take a lot of hits and move around very erratically. Sometimes there are a few other little abilities they have, but ropes don't do much of anything outside of just slithering around frantically, really. So we're not going. Now we are going to worry about him eventually. I don't want to pick up most Kinstone treasures all at once most of the times, but since we're going to be doing a lot of stuff this part anyway, I'll probably be picking them up, especially since there aren't that many to really do right now, or that I really will be able to do. First, though, I do want to talk to Swiftblade because he gives you a very helpful ability. So, this new move with this new sword is Rock Breaker, which allows you to break items that normally you'd have to throw in order to break. And it's easy enough, you just stab the things. Kinda wish we had this ability at the beginning, but whatever. I guess the old sword just isn't powerful enough to do that. But yep, now we can destroy vases and rocks, which, trust me, makes the spiny beetle enemies a lot easier. And by the way, yeah, I did look it up, their names are spiny beetles, so if you thought that Link's Awakening had a whole lot of other Nintendo game references, well, there are a few Mario enemies here and there. Not quite as heavy as Link's Awakening, which out and out had Kirby, or anti-Kirby, I suppose, but still there are a few guys here and there. Now we're actually going to get that new move fairly soon, but of course we need a new item to get that. Not going to be too long until we get that one though. In fact, I think we'll actually get it next episode, which, by the way, both this and the next episode are both going to be collection-heavy episodes. We are going to be getting some plot stuff done though. So since we're going around fusing Kinstone pieces, I guess I should mention a few, what should I call them? Annoyances in Kinstone Fusion? First off, there are shared fusers. Basically, Fuser A might have a treasure that can also be unlocked with Fuser B. So, of course, if you fuse with Fuser B, then Fuser A will no longer have fusion. Generally, I think it's mostly green Kinstones that applies to. They're usually pretty unique blue and red Kinstone fusers. Great, I can't actually fuse with you because I don't have enough green Kinstones. See, don't have nearly enough of those things. I'm kind of at a dead end. I could fuse more, but nope, don't have all the necessary pieces. Gonna have to keep track of them. And that dude doesn't have Kinstone Fusion. Do want to move this over, which you can do, even though, you know, you don't have any items to increase his strength. Also, look at Doylon. He's adorable. Just hiding that pot there. Anyway, let's flip that thing over so it can become a Minish. Oh, and delightful, we can't skip this one. Meaning Eslo has something to say to us at the end of this one. Thanks, Eslo. I'm sure whatever you say will be so very valuable and worth the time you just wasted to do that. Yeah, that was so worth it. He's just mentioning that other things can be Minish portals, which I already noticed myself because I am a Minish right now. Alright, anyway, the other annoyance with Kinstone Fusions are Fickle Fusers, which are a bit more annoying than shared fusers. Basically, Fickle Fusers, if you approach a person, they might have a Kinstone Fusion. If you leave the room and come back, they still might not have a Kinstone Fusion. But then if you come in again, then they might have a Kinstone Fusion. You could probably see how this would be pretty annoying, because you might not find somebody who is a Kinstone Fuser and completely miss them and not be able to mark them down for a while, thus you'd be wandering around not knowing who to talk to. Thankfully, I don't think there are that many in the game, like there aren't that many shared Kinstone Fusers either, but they're still very annoying. Shared Kinstone Fusions might seem like a good thing since, you know, one Kinstone Fusion will solve a different one. But, of course, if you have one person down as a Kinstone Fuser, but then you accidentally solve his fusion without knowing it, yeah, then you'll just wonder why that person isn't fusing anymore. So unless you keep track of this stuff very well and know who is a shared Kinstone user, well, it's gonna cause a whole lot of confusion. I will say this, there are no missable Kinstone Fusions in the game. I'll give them that much. The thing is, though, it might seem like it just because you'll never find a Kinstone Fuser ever again just because there are so many. There are 100 in the game, and while there are some necessary ones, there are still a lot of Kinstone Fusions. They're hard to keep track of. But I think that's enough about that. We can see that Stockwell's actually stocking a new bomb bag. Of course, we don't have enough rupees for that. I mean, we have 31. If the Boomerang is 300 rupees, there's no way we're going to be able to afford that new one. Now, just a little note. There is actually, I don't know if it's a glitch or because they're using an earlier build, but for the European version, that bomb bag it doesn't actually appear. It can't be collected, so you can't have the maximum amount of bombs. This must have been some sort of oversight, I'm sure. But yeah, if you're playing the European version, then you can't technically get 100%. I mean, I guess it wouldn't count at that point. If you're out and out not able to get it, then I wouldn't include it as a 100% thing. Oh well, but anyway, just going to go out and do this. Okay, so, now that we've been through the Rafters, what else is there to do in Hyrule Town? Well, we still can't unlock that house, we still can't go to school, but there are a few, areas here. Actually, I don't think I'm gonna do this yet, because, if we go over here, you can see that there is a Minish point. Why did I try to do that? We can see that there's a Minish point, but if we try to walk into that fireplace, then nothing's gonna happen. You might notice that this place has 2 fireplaces, though, so keep that in mind. Hey, doggy. So you can only talk to animals when you're a Minish, because apparently that's just a thing that Minish do. So this dog is going to... he would fuse Kinstones with us, but nope. Anyway, he says that they're animals that will try to attack you. It's mostly cats that try to attack you. Like that cat right there, he's gonna try to swat at you if you go by. See, he was rearing up, he was getting his butt in the air. There's also this, what's it called? I want to call it a chocobo for some reason, but no, it's a cuckoo. It's a cuckoo chick. Most cuckoo chicks will try to attack you, but not this one. This one likes you and wants to fuse Kinstones with you. Oh boy. Yep, a whole lot of stuff that I'm missing, cause I gotta grind your green Kinstones. But anyway, as a Minish, you can go over to this area of Hyrule Town, which you couldn't get over to before, talk to this dog, and once you do, he'll eventually get out of your way. You can also fuse Kinstone... You can fuse Kinstones with him, but I can't. Maybe you can. Maybe you have plenty of Kinstones. Who knows? Can't do anything in here. And if you go in here, there's actually a Minish point, thankfully. And now the Carpenters are in here for good, more or less. And thank goodness for that, because now they won't be in the way of anything. Let me guess, you won't fuse Kinstones either. Well, you will, but yeah, you don't have anything, because you're another green Kinstone fuser. That's just great. Oh boy, I'm missing a lot, so look forward to that. Boy, oh boy, I can't wait for Kinstone Fusion. Woo. Anyway, this guy's gonna out and out tell us that this area right here is pretty special, because over here you can get, once I'm done cutting up bushes, this is a special area where you can talk to this guy. This man is Karlov, the same character, or at least the, maybe not the exact same one, given this is fairly far off from the Wind Waker timeline. But, nevertheless, it is the same character, and he serves the same function. He'll make you figurines, but unlike Wind Waker, figurines work off of spending mysterious shells. Depending on how many figurines you have and how many shells you spend, you will get a certain figurine that may or may not be a double. Obviously, you only need to spend one here, since I have no figurines whatsoever. Now, there are 4 different types of eggs in this game you can get. The one we just got was a golden egg, which is fairly rare. It just includes rare enemies, such as the golden enemies, and bosses. The other 3 eggs are green, which are common enemies, red, which are scenes, and blue, which are characters, I believe? Yep. I mean, I guess technically speaking there are characters here, but yeah, red, or I guess it's more of an orange, really. It looks orange to me. But yeah, red figurine eggs, they will give you scenes. So yeah, there are a lot of figurines in this game. There are actually 136, but if we check, we'll only have 130 on the list. You can only get 130 until you beat the game. Then you'll get the final 6. And also, certain figurines don't unlock until you see them, like, we can't actually get figurines of bosses until we fight those bosses. So yeah, that's just something to keep in mind. That's also why you want to keep track of how many mysterious shells you actually have, because you do need quite a few once you start unlocking a lot of figurines, but if you get 999, then you just start wasting mysterious shells, and you don't want that because it's very hard to grind for mysterious shells once you've wasted all the treasure chests with the mysterious shells in them, because they're very expensive and you only find them one at a time in grass, so spend them wisely, otherwise you'll probably not complete this side quest just due to how many there are. Again, I will be completing this, not on screen for the most part, though. I'll show you the figurines at the end of the game, though, just because they do have their own descriptions, just like in Wind Waker. It's just they don't get a fancy gallery like they do in that game, which is sad. Now, despite the fact that we can go to Lon Lon Ranch, we can't actually go inside of it just yet. Yeah, we're still blocked off, because there is a little Minish entry point, but she's standing in front of it, so we can't actually go to the reward that was unlocked once we talked to Mayor Hagen. Now, there is a reason for this. We will have to go through there, and rather soon as well. so we can't access it just yet since it's plot important. We'll be going there in the next episode, though. So for the time being, I suppose we'll just explore some more. Oh, I believe this is actually going to be very helpful. This is one of two things, and I think it is... Yes, it is a fairy point. So let's see what this fairy wants from us. Okay, I've only got 42 of them, so sure, have them. Look, 42 isn't that many rupees, just take them. So, once you do that, you get a big wallet. Well, technically not the big wallet. Whatever wallet you have left, you have yet to get. If you didn't buy the wallet in the store, then you'll just get the wallet we got before, and then the wallet in the store will become the big wallet. There is one more wallet upgrade after this. This one at the moment is the 500 wallet. That's the one I was thinking of earlier. But the one after this is going to be, excuse me, 999 wallet, which will help us quite a bit. So we got this rope here. Let's try taking this guy out. This guy will give us a fair amount of rupees, but since he is erratic, it's kinda hard to take him out without getting hit. But it's not too bad. And for that we get 100 rupees. Ta-da! Because ropes don't really do anything but move about, their whole gimmick is they move about faster, as they do normally, since, you know, they do kind of charge at you, but this one moves extra fast. So I'm actually going to meet you in Minish Woods, since we've got a couple of things over there that we can get. So, if you'll remember, we unlocked a couple of things over here. First off, we have this little hole in the ground, which gets us a blue Kinstone, which, it's alright. It's an okay reward, but we get plenty of these things, so it's not huge. But I believe that we unlocked it with a green Kinstone piece, so it would have been a bit pointless to unlock a green Kinstone piece. That would have just been a rip-off otherwise. Sort of, anyway. It would be nice to get a green Kinstone back, but whatever. Anyway, yeah, red giant rupee will get you 200 rupees. I think there's actually a few important things to the north of Lon Lon Ranch here that we haven't really checked out. Well, at least one passage anyway. Yes, indeed. That's Vale Falls, where I believe I will find, not much, but there will be an item that we can collect which will help. So, Vale Falls you can't really access without, it's an item we get much later, actually. So it'll be a fair amount of time before we actually come back here and do anything useful. Also, those guys will try to drop bombs on you. Oh, and look at that, levers. Actually, levers aren't too bad in this game. They're terrible in the original Legend of Zelda, and in Ocarina of Time they're pretty annoying as well, but in this game they're fairly slow and easy to avoid, so they're not too bad. Even if they do come out of the ground and are, they're a bit of a nuisance, but again, not as bad as in other Zelda games, I have to say. Believe me, they get so much worse. So, we got another heart piece. Let's see, what else do we need to do? I can't think of too much else without, that we can get without progressing a little more into the story, so I think we're actually going to be going to the next area now. But of course I do want to cut grass first, since I really need green Kinstones. Oh! Well, what do you know? I actually got one! Well, ain't that convenient? I should complain about things more, because it always gets results. Like, frequently. I should just be very negative about everything and just hate the world. So basically, I should just be a person on the internet, I guess. But, so, this area actually, well, not this area, but what we have to do to get to the next area kinda confused me as a kid. Actually, wait, there are a few things we can do on Mount Krenel first, actually, now that I think of it, so good thing we're in the area. And good thing we ran into that spider. Nah, not really. Anyway, I just remembered what we have to do up here. So, remember when I said there was one of two things back at the ferry? Generally, little passages like that will lead to a certain other type of person who might look a tad familiar, like some sort of sprite or something. But the thing is, we couldn't actually reach this area on our first visit to Mount Krennel because we need to be able to split ourselves into two. So we should start here and go about 3 blocks to our left. That was the wrong 3 blocks, and I'm surprised I actually made that work because he should have disappeared when he went into the wall, but I just got lucky there. So this area should look familiar because it is a dojo, just like the one back in Hyrule Town. But this one's a bit different because that guy's got different colored hair, so he's a completely different person. Also, we're rewarded just for finding this place, so yeah, I won't complain. This is Greyblade. He'll teach you some non-standard techniques. This one's the roll attack, which I don't really find all that useful. Basically, once you get to the end of your roll, you can get a little bit of extra distance with your sword. But I usually end up getting myself hit if I try to do that. I think you can also use a spin attack at the end of it, though. But yeah, you do it just like that. That is actually a move that's useful to see, because you kind of want to see where the roll attack actually happens. It's a bit tricky to pull off, which is why I'm not a huge fan of it, because again, it gets me hit, and it's tricky to use, so it doesn't really help me too much. But nonetheless, we do get a Tiger Scroll for that, which we're going to want, and now he's exhausted his use. Swiftblade has a bunch of techniques for you. His brothers around Hyrule, however, do not, and yes, there's more than one of them. He has more than one brother. I don't suppose that's a huge spoiler or anything. I hope it's not, at least. If not, well, I'm sorry for that. So anyway, I think that's all for Mount Krennel. So as I was saying before, finding the next area actually gave me a lot of trouble when I was a kid. You might remember, we have actually seen a point where we can push a two-person block. I mean, we couldn't do that before, but now that we can split ourselves, it is actually possible to do that. The thing is, I forgot about that area when I was a kid. I didn't really make a mental note of it, so I lost track of it and was never able to find it. But it is that area back where we got our first bottle. See right here, if we wanted to go to the right, that's where the salesman was. But all we need to do to access the next area is go this way. It's very easy to find, but if you forget this is here, you're probably going to get lost for a while. And now the Octrox are blue, which I don't really think makes a huge difference. It's just to indicate that they're in a more swampy, marshy area, which is pretty cool. But again, since it doesn't make a huge difference, you don't have to worry about them, because they're Octrox. They can get a few attacks on you, but they're not all that dangerous to begin with, so really outside of a few, admittedly kind of embarrassing hits from them, they're not too bad. So this area right here is actually a really good grinding spot for mysterious shells and green Kinstone pieces, and money in general, just because there's so much grass. There's also this dude here. But anyway, he was at the festival, we've seen him before, but alas, he cannot go home. But he won't actually fuse Kinstones with us. We can find a Kinstone piece at the inn, so I guess that's his, but yeah, we can't really do much with him at the moment, so I guess we're gonna ignore him. And here we get a red Kinstone piece. So that's pretty nice, since these are fairly rare, and we don't have that many at the moment. And I do want to obtain some red Kinstone pieces, since there's some pretty good stuff you can get with it. Also, this is a good area for the spin attack. The roll attack's kinda useful, but the spin attack destroys all the grass around you, so it helps you like that. There is also a better move you can use that's kinda similar to the spin move, but we're not going to be getting that for a while, so it's not really something we should concern ourselves with. So we're going to unlock this shortcut here, and I swear I won't cut too much more grass, even though it is very tempting, since you kind of need to grind for green Kinstone pieces a little bit. And hey! Maybe all I need to do is say green Kinstone pieces, and I get one. Who knows? Mysterious shells, though, as I said before, kind of hard to obtain them, since you only get them one at a time, and you kind of need, like, tens of them at a time later on. Oh, what's this? We have a cutscene? Alright, Vaati can just teleport places. We probably should have seen this one coming, since, you know, can't teleport anywhere. Maybe we should have had some guards here or something. Well, that's not good. Sir, we'd just like to ask you about something. In the past 15 minutes, you've been signing up to several forums and leaving messages such as Dorlon's an idiot and Dorlon sucks. I mean, I thought we liked the guy. Did he do something to tick you off or something? I mean, whatever you want to do, it's fine, but we're just curious, you know? So anyway, Vaati does a horrible impersonation of the king. It's pretty obvious that he's acting completely differently, but nobody's actually going to notice. So Vaati's scheme will somehow succeed. I don't know how, because seriously, the king is just suddenly a huge jerk, but whatever. He wants us to find this strange thing called the Light Force. Who knows? That guy's crazy, am I right? Or am I right? Anyway, let's just do it as he says, even though he's completely different. Oh yeah, and by the way, those guys can knock rupees out of you. I think they can only knock 5 out at a time, but I could be wrong about that. Either way, they're very annoying. At least they don't consistently knock rupees out of you. That would have been even worse. So we actually do start encountering moblins regularly over here, but we don't really need to worry about that at the moment, because next time on The Legend of Zelda the Minish Cap, we're gonna forget our Pegasus boots and head on into the next area.